So here's my bar, and we're calling it Justin's bare minimum offseason. Bare minimum. Anything below this type of commitment, go to hell. That's where I'm at. Bring Justin Verlander home. Should happen. We'll feel good about it. I actually think if of all those late 30s guys that end up coming off Tommy John and fail, the one that succeeded was like R.A. Dickey throwing knuckleballs. I actually think Verlander is such a freak.
He is a physical freak.
He can buck if anybody.
Yes, absolutely.
I think he'll be good. That's the first one. Bring Verlander home. Sign a premier shortstop. I don't even care which one it is. I have a preference. I have a list. But look, if you get your third choice, I'm not going to kill Chris Ilitch. Like, other guys are bidding too. At least the commitment's there. Correa. Seager, I think, is probably going to re-up. The Dodgers have this printing money out there. I'm not a big Baez guy, but Baez, you have to give me a premier middle infielder. There's like 6 of them out there. And then the third component, spend $8 million plus on another free agent, which is not that much. That's like a lower middle class free agent at this point. This is the bare minimum, not what I'm hoping for. The bare minimum. If they don't bring Verlander back, sign an elite shortstop and spend like on one other solid, fifth starter or a very good bullpen arm, fuck off, go to hell. And look, that's all tied into, I sat here for 5 years. I let you kick me in the mouth after you wouldn't fix your bullpen the 10 years prior, and that cost you probably 2 titles. We've all been patient. I'm curious, Tony, you saw where I'm at. That's my bare minimum. Do you think that's fair? Forget what they're going to do. Do you think that's a fair expectation? Am I asking way too much?
No, I think that's dead on. You have to go get a shortstop. I mean, look, let's go with the assumption you're going to sign Verlander. I think, Verlander came out in the free press and made it clear, and that's probably going to happen. Like you said, with all the medicals, they have to have a shortstop, and especially this offseason where you have your choice of really good shortstops. Correa, I think it was very interesting when AJ Hinch hinted that maybe we shouldn't boo Carlos Correa, Tigers fans. I thought that was a pretty telling comment that AJ Hinch possibly sees a reunion with Carlos Correa in Detroit. And then, I think you're asking for too little. The $8 million, I just look at that as all these one-year guys that haven't panned out that we've signed for the last.
I said bare minimum.
I guess that's fine. I think your minimum should be higher than that. Honestly, I think it should be
double it.
I tried to be reasonable.
I think it should be the shortstop. I think it should be Verlander, and I think it should be another top-tier, borderline 1-2 tier player at some position. You go get a bullpen arm. I think they have. If they don't sign a bullpen arm, I'm okay with it. I think they have some arms in this system, where I think that they're okay. You need offense. I mean, like we talked about at the beginning of the season, if you took the starting opening day lineup and you went around who was part of the rebuild, who was part of the future, and you had a hard time picking out anybody. Now I think you can pick out Candelario might be a guy that sticks around, a couple others here and there, but you still need offense. Go get some more. I was looking, and I mentioned it before the show. You could just bring the whole band back together. You could go sign, if you wanted, you go sign Justin Verlander, you go sign Max Scherzer, and if Nick Castellanos and JD Martinez decide to opt out of their contracts, bring them in. I would start like those 4 would be, or 4 like that would be where you should be, because you missed the opportunity this past offseason.
What's in that cup?
Yeah.
Come on.
This is Diet Coke. I don't drink anymore. This is just Diet Coke. But you have the money. You have the money, and you have a team that can contend sooner than we thought. And you have pieces coming up from the minors. You're probably going to see Torkelson and Green next year.
Yeah.
You can do it. And Chris Ilitch and the Ilitch family is not hurting for money. If they want, I'm telling you, if they just do the Verlander thing, like you mentioned, Tiger fans, while some of them hate my guts and think I'm an idiot, and that's fine, I've been called worse, they're relatively smart when you factor in other towns' baseball fans. Tiger fans aren't stupid. That Verlander's not going to cut it for them. It's not going to sell a ton of season tickets. To sell season tickets, you need to have moves on the level of the Prince Fielder signing back in the day, of the Miguel Cabrera trade back in the day. That's when the phones ring up, and that's when you sell tickets. Verlander's just not going to do that. And if this is a business, and Chris Ilitch clearly treats it as a business and not a pet project like his dad did, it's about making money. And the only way they're going to do that is if they get big time names that sell tickets.
I disagree. I think that fans will, because they'll market it the right way. They'll say
They'll market,
Verlander and all the young
marketed
guys.
in 2003. They marketed Alan Trammell and Lance Parrish and Kirk Gibson.
Those guys were in the dugout.
I understand that.
They can say we got Verlander. Here's Torkelson, Riley Green. They're on the cusp. That's it. And then I swear fans will eat that up. I know they will.
I'm not saying 100% approval rating. There'll be some.
I give Tiger fans too much credit then because I just don't think they're that stupid. I really don't.
I mean, that's where we disagree.
I'm with you. I think that's going to make everyone feel super warm and fuzzy.
I'm just trying to get the fans back on my side after they've written me over that last video. The comments are not pretty.
Well, you have a weird way of showing that coming on this show because apparently when you show up here, all respect is lost from Joe Shit the Ragman 3287.
I think that your bare minimum is with the bare minimum of what they're going to do. I really believe that.
Really?
I really believe that.
Really? So you feel extremely confident that they're going to do my bare minimum?
Why would Chris Ilitch
I would take that up front.
Why does Chris Ilitch, how do we give
He doesn't
him,
deserve that. He doesn't. I agree with you, and I've mentioned it many times that I just,
man,
until you see it.
Those parking lots, man. Those parking lots.
The parking lots are great. If you need a place to park, Detroit is your place. I'm telling you, in and out.
I just wanted one luxury condo, one nice restaurant, one little boutique
I was promised
shop.
like 6 villages.
No,
I'm hoping for one block of more.
No, the artist renderings are great. They were great,
man. That guy, the artist rendering, whoever made those,
they're
needs
beautiful.
It's Lyle Lamley.
And if
you've
pay
been
him
to-
in like arrears,
yeah.
like get him more money, like for that's an incredible.
Well, if
job.
you've been to Detroit lately too,
What a
it's like
concept.
they now have the District Detroit banners up on street posts, but they keep stretching it. Like they keep putting them in places where there's already cool shit. Like
Right.
where they put the District Detroit banners where the Hudson site is. I mean, that's not supposed to be District Detroit. It was supposed
like
to
the
be
Campus Martius ice rink, like
Seriously.
the District Detroit.
Yeah,
It's like,
that's what they've done though. If you go,
I didn't
they're on the
notice
street
that.
post.
No, I haven't seen that either.
It's ridiculous.
Is it Cuba or Brazil that like paints their walls like really nice colors when they're in like total poverty to try to like dress it up? It seems like the first world equivalent of that.
It's incredible. Like, yeah, but I don't have the faith. But of all the situation they're in now, that when the time is right, you can't look at this team and this situation and not say now is the time to do it, especially when you have clean books. Your books are so clean, other than the Cabrera deal. I mean, any other organization in baseball would kill to have the financial flexibility that the Tigers will and should have. You have that, and you have a team that looks like they could contend. It's fans are sick of the rebuild. You've already lost the season ticket base to an extreme. They won't even tell us. They've never told us exactly, but you can be pretty sure that there's maybe a couple thousand season ticket holders right now. And if you want that to continue, then do nothing. But I just don't. I think that he's got to be smarter at business, and this is a business to him. Smarter businessman than that.
I don't think he's very smart. I think that's the problem. Chris Ilitch, I think, is just lived off his dad's, success and ventures, and now he's sitting here with, he's inexperienced. Look at the way he handled the District Detroit. Like you said, we don't want to go on to the whole nitty gritty with all that stuff, but it's like, hey, this guy, I think he's trying to cut any corner he can. And if he knows that he can cut a corner, Verlander, fans, boom, cheap. And I think he's cheap. I think he's a liar. I think he's, I can go full scorched earth if we want to, but I have no faith in Chris Ilitch. And you are right. You are spot on. This is the time.
Right.
We have to lock
you.
in.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't trust him to do it.
But here's what we talked about in February also. You don't bring in A.J. Hinch if you don't make the assurances that you're going to spend to build a contender.
No, you don't take $320 million in public funds, sit in front of the city board and say, look at this pretty picture. I can give you this if you give me that check. Here's the check, and then tell them to fuck themselves. But that happened too.
Well, he's not the first sports team owner to take hundreds of millions of dollars from cities. He's not even the first in this town. I get it. It's sick. I mean, the District Detroit thing is garbage. No question. And that's all we have to go on right now. But if you're going to be a legitimate sports owner, we're going to see. And you might be right.
We'll find out.
You might be right.
We don't think he is.
We'll
find
out in less than 6 months.
And like I said, I don't have all the faith in the world because, again, District Detroit is bullshit, and he hasn't proven anything. He hasn't proven to be a hands-on owner like his dad was. I don't have the faith that he'll do it, but common sense tells me that if you're going to do it, it's going to be now. And to Lynn's point, if he doesn't, it's time to bag this and sell the team for $1 billion and get out of the business.
Yeah, and Lynn is not the type to tar and feather anybody. He's very measured. So for him to say that...
Yeah, he told me that on the podcast a couple months ago because I asked him, because it was right after we had talked. And so I asked him the same questions. And he's like, they're going to sign. They're going to sign. They're going to sign. And I said, what if they don't? And he says, then he has to sell the team. And
I mean,
He's right. I mean, if you're
He's
not
right.
going to spend now, why are you in the business? I mean, you're not making money hand over fist with this team. You know, if you're not selling tickets, I mean, they do have a nice TV deal and all that stuff, but you know, eventually, I mean, there's just gonna be nobody in the stands, nobody, and it won't be because of a pandemic, it'll be because you're a shitty owner, and you haven't done what you said, promise, whatever that you said you'll do. I mean, the rebuild's in year 5. I mean, some could argue it's year 6, some could argue it's year 4, depending on your definition, but the pieces are there. I mean, open your eyes. If you don't see that, well, then you guys will be proven right.